Hello, Kochi. My name is Dominic Tedesco. I have known your pastor, Pastor Wacker, for a number of years, and I know we're all in lockdown together, so what better time to share Jesus Christ with you than since we can't go anywhere together. And I was born and raised in church. My parents started going pretty much ever since I was about 2 years old, and I knew God's word, knew his truth, that he came and died on the cross for me. I was in the bands, I was an usher, I had done all these things at church, and what ended up happening was that God was never really real to me. I was kind of just going through the motions, but he never was really real in my heart, and that's something that I neglected to do because I felt the whole time that, you know what, God, you're restricting me. You're holding me back, you're putting barriers, you've put me in this little tiny square. I want to be free, and I couldn't do that with you, and I wanted to be popular. I wanted to do my own thing, make my own decisions, and be my own man once I entered into high school, and I felt that serving God and doing all this stuff I could not do, and so I decided, forget you, God, I'm going to do my own thing. And it was at that moment, a pinnacle moment in my life, where it was as though I stepped out from the covering of God, where he was protecting me like an umbrella over my head during a rainy day. He was protecting me from sin. He was covering me from decisions that I was making. And I stepped out from that. And when I stepped out from that and I walked away from God, I thought to myself, you know what? This is not so bad. I should have done this years ago. What's the big deal? No lightning struck me down or anything like that. And so little did I know that there was a storm brewing that was going to come years down the road. And so I went through high school. I sold myself for popularity, to different things of the world. And I really wanted to make a name for myself. And, I was really good at wrestling. I was ranked in our state, and I love to hear people chant my name, and I sold myself to these things, the partying, the friendships, all these things that I ever wanted, I got, and I did everything I wanted to do. But the problem is, I realized that there was always two sides to a coin. And everything that I wanted, that I thought was good, always came with something so much worse. The friends that I made were fake friends. I'd always ended up getting in trouble because of them. Everybody chanting my name really didn't care about me at all. And I became lonely and depressed. I started to really hate people, and I always trying to find out some kind of stress reliever. So I'd always get in fights, whether or not I would lose or win, I didn't care. I needed to find some kind of outlet because I was broken inside. I was doing everything I can to hold my life together, and it was not working. And the whole time I'm blaming God and everybody else. It's everybody else's fault. It's not mine. There came to a day where I ended up getting into trouble with the police. I ended up getting jumped. I got 7 staples across the side of my head. I had beat this guy severely due to my fighting background that I had. And I'm at the police station, and we're kind of going over everything. And immediately while I'm there, he keeps saying, this is what's happening. You're going to be judged, prosecuted. All these words were coming at me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this got serious. This is real. But immediately, I realized, oh my gosh, I'm going to be judged for my sin. I'm going to be judged for everything I have done to this point. And no matter who I blame or what I can do, I'm going to be judged. And if I were to die right now, and that's where my life was heading, is just a worse disaster, it was going to be death, that I would die and go to hell. And I became so scared at that moment. God, if you judge me right now, I know I'm not going to make heaven my home. I'm going to die and go to hell. And I decided after the police station, I went to church. I was almost maybe like a week later. I went to church. It was December 3rd, 2004, that I gave my life to Jesus. And I said, God, if you could become real again in my life, God, if you can forgive me someone who walked away. God, someone who spit on your face, turned his back against you. If you can forgive me, if you could become real, fix what has been destroyed in my life, put me back together, God, I will serve you. And immediately, I kid you not, immediately that anxiety, the stress that had built up on my life, God took away just like that. And I was, for the first time in years, I had peace, a joy. And from then on, God did miracle after miracle after miracle in my life. Come to find out, thank God there was a security camera where I ended up getting fighting at, and so it was, everything got ruled in self-defense. That anger, that bitterness that I had, God turned into a love and joy that I had for people. And fast forward years down the road now to 2020, and God has done miracles in my life. I could say with my family, ended up getting married, having 3 beautiful children, a beautiful wife, a house, roof over my head, a great job. All these things I know that God supplied me with, because I could not do these things on my own, because I was a wreck. But God did these things and worked miracles in my life. And even now, during this crisis of the coronavirus, just this, what are we going to do? What's going to happen? God is in control, and I don't have a worry, because the God who forgave me has given me a peace to know that he is in control. Even when we're out of control, even when the world is out of control, God has still got a plan. God is still in control. And if you want Jesus Christ in your life, do what I did. Ask Jesus to become real in your life. God, forgive me, I'm a sinner. God, I have done wrong. And God will meet you there. Whenever you speak those words, whenever that is a true and real confession, God, I need a miracle, God is there wanting to answer it. Even during this time that we're dealing with, God is going to turn this into his glory. And I tell you what, give Jesus Christ the opportunity and chance. I love you, Kochi. Praying for you guys. Love you guys.